So, guys, we all knew that this was coming because the CDC has no jurisdiction to pass a eviction moratorium without it going through Congress first. People with common sense saw this coming, but apparently since Joe Biden and the CDC did it, apparently it's an actual thing now. When the whole process need to go through the House, the Senate, and then get passed over. It didn't even do that because the freaking a lot of these people in Congress are more focused on the January 6th commission than actually helping out people that was about to get evicted. And basically, those people who got all this money from a stimulus check and they decided not to pay their rent. It's been like what? It's been like 3-4 stimulus checks by now, and people were just sitting around waiting on that and refusing to go back to work. There are many job openings in the United States right now. People just did not want to go back to work. It's common sense at this point. If you don't pay your rent, you get evicted. What did you think was going to happen? That the government was just going to keep on bailing you out? That's not how it works, people. It's not how it works. The government just can't come in and save you when you are afraid of something, or you don't want to go back to work, or you don't want to go outside. But you in Florida, but you in California at the beach and all that stuff. You doing all this. You doing all of this. These useless things, buying all these useless things, all these flashing jewelry, all these useless stuff that you don't really need. You're buying all a bunch of useless stuff, but the one thing that you should have been doing was paying your rent. The first thing you should have been doing was finding a job. This is on you. This is not even about Democrats or Republicans. This is on the average citizen that chose not to go to work and chose to wait on government welfare checks. This is on you. You should have been more smart with your life choices. Your life choices. Here's the thing. If you was waiting on the government to come in and actually save you from getting evicted, it's on you. You should have been more smart. You had jobs. A lot of people had all these jobs when Trump during 2019 alone, when Trump brought back all these jobs. But all of a sudden, the whole country shut down. You don't want to go back to work. Listen, and people say, they ain't pay enough at this job for me to make an honest living. Guess what? That's life. I had to go through the same process. Who doesn't have to go through the same process? We find better jobs. That's what a lot of people have found. If they're not happy with what they at, they find better jobs. I had to just to get my own apartment, make sure I get my own car, make sure I keep my maintenance up in my car, and still have money left over to just go about my everyday process. But apparently some people don't believe in that. Some people choose to just settle where they at instead of actually growing in their as a career move. They chose not to continue. People say, "Oh, it's not that easy." It is. It actually is easy. It takes some time to do it, but it's actually easy. If you don't like where you at because they don't pay enough, find another job that pays more. You don't need all these degrees, wasting money on college in order to make an honest living. All I got is a high school diploma, and I'm making more money than managers at a freaking McDonald's. But that's just me. I'm just one person who chose not to settle for less. That's just me though. You can do it. Stop being lazy. Get off your lazy ass. Get a job. Because right now, the U.S. Supreme Court just told Biden, they literally told Biden even before he did this. The CDC has no jurisdiction to do this, to play American government. They are not the American government. They could not process this, and now all of a sudden AOC and Cori Bush is quiet as hell, and now people are getting evicted right now as we speak. This is on people like AOC and Cori Bush that say cancel rent. And who's that other chick in the squad? I forgot her name. That bald-headed chick. I forgot her freaking name. I honestly don't even give a damn. They're all stupid. The whole cancel rent. Go ahead and cancel rent. Now what? You got people living for free. That's not a good economic business move. Come on, this is basic economics. It's basic. You can't just have people living for free. That's not how life works. You got pay to make an honest living. You gotta work to make an honest living. You don't work, you don't eat. That's how it goes. That's how it's always been. But it feels like I'm ranting on too much, people. Let me go ahead and get on with this article from the Post Millennial. The U.S. Supreme Court strikes down Biden's federal eviction moratorium. A group of landlords challenged the moratorium and argued that the CDC has no authority to impose the restriction. The nation's landlords were estimated to be losing as much as $90 billion a month. And here's the thing: this isn't just big landlords. This is also small landlords who had people owe like $3,600 in rent. So people say, oh, this is all just big corporations putting out the small guys. No, it's also the small guys trying to put down the small guys, trying to live off scot-free. You can't live scot-free, people. You just can't. That's not how life works. So let's go ahead and continue with the article. The Supreme Court of the United States, in a 6-3 vote on Thursday, blocked the Biden administration intended federal moratorium on evicting renters during the COVID-19 pandemic. The moratorium was imposed by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Breaking from SCOTUS blog. The Supreme Court lifts the federal eviction moratorium. In an unsigned 8-page opinion with the 3 liberals dissenting, SCOTUS sides with a group of landlords who argue that the CDC lacked the authority to bar evictions during the pandemic. The moratorium was imposed in early August and was due to expire in October. A group of landlords challenged the moratorium and argued that the CDC had no authority to oppose the restriction. The nation's landlords were estimated to be losers as much as $90 billion a month. In an 8-page majority unsigned opinion, 6 justices agreed and wrote, "It would be one thing if Congress had specifically authorized the action that the CDC has taken, but that has not happened. Instead, the CDC has imposed a nationwide moratorium on evictions and reliance on a decades-old statute that authorizes it to implement measures like fumigation and pest extermination." The opinion added that the moratorium, quote, strains credulity to believe that this statute grants the CDC the sweeping authority that it asserts, which it doesn't. Justice Stephen Breyer, Sonia Sotomayor, and Ilana Kagan, the court's 3 liberal members, dissented from Thursday's ruling, arguing that Congress has appropriated over $4.65 billion to help pay back rent. But guess what? People decided not use that money to pay back the rent. They just bought useless stuff. That's what people are not understanding. That stimulus check that they got, they ain't use it for their rent. They use it for other BS. The ruling is a defeat for the Biden administration's efforts to continue the moratorium. Congress first imposed a moratorium on evictions in March 2020 as part of the CARES Act, the first coronavirus stimulus bill. After the moratorium expired, at the direction of President Donald Trump, the CDC issued a moratorium of its own, which was extended through the end of July. After the lawsuit was brought by landlords, the justices declined to block it in June since it would expire shortly thereafter. But they had concerns about another moratorium being instituted, saying that at that time that only Congress could impose a nationwide moratorium. President Biden originally said that the court statement indicated that the government lacked the authority to issue a new moratorium, but later caved to pressure from Democrats and directed the CDC to issue another moratorium anyway, arguing that the new version was different than the original because it only applied only in counties with high rates of COVID positives. California, Minnesota, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, Washington have local eviction moratoriums that are not affected by the Supreme Court decisions, as does the District of Columbia. So, apparently now people are getting evicted, and you have this freaking Nazi right here, this freaking clown, this freaking do what I say, now what I do political hack, Mayor Bill de Blasio, saying, basically going on a full-blown left-wing rant. A group of right-wing extremists just decided to throw families out of their homes during a global pandemic. This is an attack on working people across our country and city. New York won't stand for this vile, unjust decision. Okay, first of all, Bill de Blasio, you're the last person to be talking about vile, unjust decisions. You are literally telling people that they cannot work, they cannot go to the gym, they cannot go to business meetings without being vaccinated or have a vaccine passport. Hold up, let me go ahead and look this up real quick. Here it is, right here. Mayor Bill de Blasio is making all these rules. He's saying that he supports the minority community, but yet he's trying to push that the minority community be the one vaccinated because only 20% of black people in New York are vaccinated, of young black people in New York. Here's the thing. We don't really trust a lot of vaccines. A lot of black people don't trust the medical field in general, except when it comes to Planned Parenthood. A construction site safety manager in Queens said that as a black man, he was more worried about the prospect of being stopped by the police than he was about getting COVID-19. A graduate student in the Bronx who had not gotten vaccinated said her worst fear seemed confirmed when the vaccine that the government was directing to black and poor neighborhoods was briefly suspended over a small number of dangerous blood clots. And a civil rights activist in Bronx said that he grew suspicious when he heard last year that politicians were prioritizing minority neighborhoods for coronavirus vaccinations. So that's right there. This is a lot of people. This is basically Mayor Bill de Blasio forcing black people to get vaccines, and this is the same. Apparently, this is the same Bill de Blasio that supports, helping out the minority community. Let me tell you something. Forcing people to get the vaccine is not helping because they have reasons to be worried for the vaccine. If you just think it's about you, no, it's also about them. They may have an allergic reaction. They may have some bad side effects, just like some people with blood clots who did get the vaccine. They are worried about this because at this point, people this is what communists do. They force people to do what they don't want to do. Quote, since when does America give anything good to black people first? Said the activist, Hawk Newsom, a 44-year-old Black Lives Matter leader who is unvaccinated. All three situations reflect a trend that has become a major concern to public health experts. Young black New Yorkers are especially reluctant to get vaccinated, even as the Delta variant is rapidly spreading across their ranks. City data shows that only 28% of black New Yorkers ages 18 to 44 are fully vaccinated, compared with 88% of Latino residents and 52% white residents in that age group. The vaccination gap is emerging as the latest stark racial disparity in the epidemic full of them. Epidemiologists say that they expect this third wave will hit black New Yorkers especially hard. Quote, this is a major public health failure, said Dr. Justin Duncan, an epidemiologist and Columbia University professor. In interviews, dozens of black New Yorkers across the city, an aspiring dancer in Brownsville, a young mother of 5 in Far Rockaway, a teacher in Connersey, a Black Lives Matter activist in the Bronx and many others gave a long list of reasons for not getting vaccinated, mainly rooted in a fear that during these uncertain times, they cannot trust their government with their health, which is true. You can't trust the government with their health because they really don't give a flying damn. It's do as I say, not as I do. They want you to do what they won't do. Here's another report. Apparently, a large portion of the CDC and the WHO workers, they not even vaccinated, but they want you to get vaccinated. Why? How come they're not getting vaccinated? How come they not the ones that are losing money? How come they're not the ones losing their houses? Dr. Fauci got more rich last year alone, and he's been flip-flopping all over the goddamn place. So, Mayor Bill de Blasio has the nerve to say this is all a white ring type thing, when people should have got their lazy asses and got a damn job. You can't blame this on Trump. You can't blame this on actually. You can't blame this on Biden a little bit for even agreeing with this. The whole Democrat establishment. They know full well that the CDC had no jurisdiction to do this because it had to go to Congress first. They knew full blown well, but they chose to play progressive liberal instead of being a common sense thinker. The CDC has no jurisdiction to approve a eviction moratorium. They have no jurisdiction for that. It has to go through Congress. It's common sense. The CDC is not the government. The WHO is not the government. They had no authorization. They don't. And now people are getting evicted, and now people are pissed off at Joe Biden. And they should be pissed off at Mayor Bill de Blasio as well for closing everything down and make it everybody had to get a vaccine before they can even work. Enforcing mandates. And force people to get a shot in their arm that they don't trust, with good reasons to. They have no good reason to trust doctors, to trust freaking mayors, governors, especially in New York and California. It's bad in Florida too, but the death rate is not as big as New York and California. But I'm just one person here. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys, like I'm saying, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I will see y'all next one. Peace.